Before we get started today, everyone, I just want to say something real fast, and that is a quick disclaimer. This is a part 2 to the previous one, that being the part 1 of this. If you haven't seen part 1, I highly recommend you go watch that one. That is a pretty cool one, so I would probably go give that one a watch before you see this one, alright? But with that said, if you have seen part 1, welcome everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. Sit back, relax, get a snack, and grab a drink as you enjoy this on a lovely Christmas morning, everybody. With that said, hopefully you enjoyed this little part 2 and have a great rest of your holidays, everybody. And with that said, please enjoy the video. So at the end of the day, I think Xpool doesn't like update 3.
Yeah.
I just don't think he
So
likes
what's-
16.
How did we take that long to justify one sentence?
I'll tell
Because-
you why.
I don't know
I'll tell
if
you
I'm
why,
reading.
Gino.
Man
Because
gave a
having
PowerPoint
this conversation is
presentation.
interesting.
Derailed the whole thing.
It's because G-Dub, you guys were yelling at me for not liking it. You're like, oh, how could you not like it? Come on now, what's so wrong with it? And I gave you my reason. You're like, why did
did
it
give
take
me
so
your
long
reasoning.
to explain why you didn't like it?
He explained
No,
himself.
no,
You
wait,
were-
you
you
got a
were-
point. No, wait, guys.
No, I didn't
He's
even
got a
say
point.
anything. It's
Guys,
cool.
G-Dub, he's got a point. He's got a point.
I'm not talking about you, Needle Mouse. I'm talking more specifically about like G-Dub and Accelerate. They were like,
Yeah, no,
what are you
he's
talking
right.
about? Are you
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
That's fair.
But anyway, I'm done.
So,
Do we need to say anything about else? Who else would like to share what they like? Their
I was just going to ask, what else? Whoever else didn't get a chance to say what was the worst thing, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Well, I had update 3 there, but now I'm scared.
It's fine. I'm gonna say, even though I thought it was fine, even though I thought it was pretty good, I'm gonna say Sonic Prime Season 2, because
Understandable in every way.
I like
Because
Sonic. I like Sonic Prime.
M-I-C-K-E-Y.
I like Sonic. Shut up. I like Sonic Prime.
To be honest,
Yeah,
actually,
you
now
get
that
it.
I'm
Say
thinking
everything
about
else we
it,
got
now that I'm
there.
thinking about it,
Why does
I think one of the worst
I
parts
like
about
Prime 2.
this year
I
for
like
me
Prime
were
Season 2.
probably
It's just
the
everything else is better.
Hi Accelerate.
Sorry.
I
sorry.
think this year. How dare you? I can't believe it. I think this year, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if Xpool will agree with me on this, but I think the worst part of this year for me personally was probably the stories going on in the comics.
Actually, hold on. I actually kind of get you there.
Oh God, no,
because-
please. It's gonna take another hour.
No, don't worry. I'll try to be
haven't
more
read the
brief this
comics.
time. But like, listen, I
Nah,
have
the
a
more the merrier.
hyperfixation on these, so I think I am very skilled in talking about them. But I do agree with Nokai in the fact that like the stories in IDW this year have just like not been very good.
This recording
After
is
the
only
metal
an
virus,
hour
they
and
kind of
20
fell
minutes
off.
long. Come on,
I wouldn't
can
say
we
after
get-
the metal virus. I'd say after when they dropped Surge is when they started to fall off.
Actually, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Because I liked Zeddy.
Metal Virus
I thought
was so
Zeddy Hunt
peak.
was really good.
Yeah, you're
Metal
right.
virus was so peak.
Oh, Metal Virus was absolutely fantastic.
It was awesome.
And I think like I think
Imagine-
the reason it
imagine,
fell
like,
off.
Imagine if they did like a Sonic game with a sort of idea. Like the thing I loved about the Metal
dude.
Virus, it was dark.
Could have been
as
Sonic Forces. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
G-Dub.
Well, I mean anything is. But
Alright.
okay, no, we're not getting into the Trick G-Dub Forces event. Okay.
Yes.
I think the
I will
reason they
gladly
fell
write a
off-
20-minute video about forces. Bet.
Oh, not now.
Do it. You won't.
Not now.
Not now,
Right
please.
now.
Not
Opening
now.
it up
Stop
right now.
encouraging him.
I'm
All
gonna
right. Anyway, go
praise
ahead.
this
Go
game.
ahead.
I think the reason they people say they fell off after the Metal Virus is because of the directional shift from Ian to Evan Stanley. Because Ian stopped being the main writer whenever
Oh, he
Metal
did?
Virus dropped. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was Evan. Yeah, Evan Stanley took over.
That's
right.
Ian
Evan took
only
over.
really did Zeddy Hunt and a little bit of the Imperial City arc with Surge. That was it.
Imperial City was good. I like that one.
Yeah. Oh, Imperial City was pretty good. But like, I think Imperial City was like the last story that I say was like decent. Like, it wasn't anywhere like crazy because people were like, "Oh, this is
wasn't
the
peak,
next
but it was
big
good.
arc." Like, it was the next big arc. But I'm just like, I mean, it's whatever. Like, I think it kind of ended. It felt like felt like the pacing was a bit too quick. That's how I felt. But I thought like, it's pretty good. But then they started this whole Misadventures arc, and that was just not fun. Not because like it wasn't a big arc, but because like I think there weren't many good stories in there. There was one really cute one with Amy and Knuckles. I liked that one. But after that, they released like issue 64, where they introduced like Duo, who is obviously like Mimic, and it is so painfully obvious that he is Mimic. And like, there's this one moment where Silver tries to stop him because he notices something that's like literally just Mimic, and Whisper's helping him, and then Mimic or Duo whatever like just gets hit and like starts feeling like pretends to feel pain and all that, and like gets really sad. And then Silver's like, what do you mean? It's literally Mimic. And then Whisper comes out, the person who like has the vendetta against Mimic, knows him like the back of her hand. It's like, it's not him. I'm sorry. Leave the team. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know he does these things. You know he abuses people like this. It's like literally like mentally abuses people. You know this. Like it pisses me off. And I'm like, what?
Okay.
So annoying.
Supercon, what's the next question?
Yeah.
Has everybody got the chance?
I'm sorry.
Shouldn't have brought that
You're
up.
alright, you're alright. Has everybody got the chance to say what was the worst thing? Because I lost track. I lost track.
This is nothing against any of you specifically. I just want to get done with this.
Yeah,
I know you want to go back to
ready to
sleep. I
go
know that's
now.
what you're on about.
I just want to say one last
had
thing
a lot
about
of
update
fun.
3.
Oh, hold
What you
on.
got,
let's
Luke?
look
It's
switch.
actually
got?
it's
What you got?
actually something that I wasn't sure if this is specifically about Update 3 or Frontiers in general. But I was talking about this with Matt Has No Cuts the other day, and we kind of
Based human.
came to the conclusion
Based
after
human.
analyzing Frontiers' game design that it kind of feels, and this is just the feeling that we have, that Sonic Frontiers Update 3 was kind of, or like just the game in general, was kind of good by accident. Like they were just,
Oh yeah.
they didn't have
I'd
core
agree
game
with that.
design
I'd
principles
agree with
there.
I can see where you're
But
coming from,
They
honestly.
were just doing like, oh, this is
Yeah,
probably
I
fun,
can-
and
I
then they
can totally
implemented
see
it,
that.
and then it worked for some and it didn't for
They
some.
were sort of
others.
f***ing around to see what was going to be good or not.
Yes.
Let's hope they do the right thing
Anyway.
with the next game. But I mean, that's what usually happens, right? They
But that's
do.
a hard thing to learn.
That's a great
isn't it?
segue.
It's-
Because that's what I'm saying is that they do, and then they do again, and then for no reason they just stop doing it, and then they try to they
Yeah.
try to do what was working before,
Lost World reference.
right? And then they
Lost
try.
World
This has
reference.
happened like twice now, and then they try to do what was working before again, except mess that up too. This has happened twice now.
Forces reference.
Right, precisely. We got Adventure 1. Adventure 2 took what everybody loved Adventure 1. It was also very well received. We got Heroes, was here, and then we got Shadow the Hedgehog. And then we're like, oh, this isn't working, we gotta go back. Then we got Sonic 06, which is structurally an adventure game, but is also Sonic 06. So then they tried this again. We got,
we gotta start this
Unleashed.
again?
We got Unleashed, we got Colors, we got Generations, and then for no reason we got Lost World, and 3 years of Sonic Boom. And then we got Sonic Forces. And, well, now here we are with Sonic Frontiers. It's starting again.
I will say, I
This is
will
the
say,
real
I don't
Sonic
think,
cycle.
I don't think it's starting again.
Supercon. What's the next question,
I
Supercon?
think it's a rare time where they
Help us, get us out.
Let's hope
What's
so.
the next
But
god
so,
question?
This takes us to the next segue.
what's the next segue?
Please.
Segue so pretty much is, now that we've discussed Sonic's 2023, let's get into the real thing for today, and that is pretty much what we've already been talking about. What do you think the future holds for our little blue guy?
Can I start? I'll be quick about this, I swear. So, the thing, so I'm one of the optimistic Sonic fans. Like, I'll always try and look on the bright side when it comes to pretty much everything, except for Sonic Boom, but that doesn't matter. So the thing is, right,
There isn't really a bright side
after
to it,
after everything that I've played
Well,
in
besides the
2023 and 2022, while yes, nothing was outright pitch perfect 10 out of 10, there never will be for Sonic, but I can like confidently say I am very optimistic for the future. Like, yes, is there a high chance of Sonic Team f***ing it up again? Probably, but does that mean there's like outright no chance of us getting another good Sonic game? Absolutely not. And then with that Zippo leak, I need to talk about that. So I love Sonic Unleashed with all my heart. Like I go back and replay that game consistently. But the thing is, right?
Today.
Sonic Unleashed, major problem. While I do myself enjoy the Werehog, it's still like a thing that like takes it back. Zippo's leak says that this new Sonic and Shadow game, which is first of all, let's go Shadow's back in the mainline Sonic game.
Shadow's the
Is
goat.
Exactly. So the leak says that Shadow that it'll be a boost era Sonic game. Now there's two outcomes. We get Sonic
He never
Forces
said
2.
that. He never
We
said
get
that.
He never said that.
he did.
No, he didn't.
Wait.
No.
He didn't say it was a boost
No,
game?
no,
I
I'm gonna
swear.
tell what exactly verbatim. He said this is a new Sonic game as part of the New Era campaign. That is more of a traditional Sonic game. So what I think that means is that it's going to be level based instead of open zone, and it's going to be a bit shorter. That's what it means.
Yeah.
So you can continue.
It doesn't
I was gonna say,
necessarily
but-
mean.
but
Okay,
the
if
term
it
This is why we
if it
needed the
is-
lore master. I'm just saying.
Best case scenario, okay, we get a boost game. Now there's two outcomes for this. In my eyes, it's best case scenario. There's two outcomes for this. We could either get Sonic Forces 2, which would be absolute hell, and no G-Dub shut up.
No. G-Dub, no.
Or
Yes.
the good future.
I'm just kidding.
The good
I'd
ending.
like to see Infinite back.
The good ending. We get instead of Sonic Unleashed daytime, but with no Werehog and no gimmick that holds it back.
We've been wanting that for too long. It's never gonna happen.
Like, I know, like, yes, are the chances of this happening low? Pretty low. But, like, come on, how amazing would that be?
It would be
Like,
great. I would love
That's
it.
why they're not
I
gonna
love
do it.
Unleashed.
Okay, so have you
yes.
pretty much
Wait, hold on.
that's as far as that
Can
game.
I go after that?
go.
Yeah, I'm
sure.
almost done. I'm almost done. That's
Possibly.
for that. That's for that boost game though. My main thing though, I wanted to touch upon was the open zone, right? I feel like the open zone has so much potential. Like, I'm gonna be completely real. It's like
I agree.
I think that if done correctly, again,
Imagine
if they took every single piece of feedback that Sonic Team got through through all of the updates.
There's
and
so many
everything,
good ways you could take
and
the open zone.
like expanded upon everything that we got, we could potentially, truly, finally start getting consistent 9 out of 10 Sonic games.
Yeah, I
And I know
agree.
that's like something. That's not. I know that's something
we
that
could. We could.
Like,
we could.
we could
Theoretically.
That's
but
the
this
big
is also
thing.
Sonic Team
We
we're talking
could.
about. This is Sonic
Sonic
Team.
Sonic is a very, and I mean very potent IP. Like,
Yep.
it is very potent. It's the thing, and the thing is, both Sega Heartlight and Sonic Team have showed us, yeah, Sonic can be actually kind of good, like really good, like AAA good.
No!
Like,
I'm sorry. I
eventu-
kind of just like
X-Pool
spat that out.
X-Pool
Finish,
laughed
please.
calmly.
like
I'm sorry.
like I understand like the skepticism, because like, I mean, it's never it feels like it's never going to happen, but for some reason I kind of feel hopeful, because again, Izuka, like, I know, I don't think you can correct me because I wasn't there at the time, but I don't think Izuka nor anyone on Sonic Team, when the boost formula was found to be successful, ever said, oh yeah, so the boost formula will be the blueprint of the franchise for the next 10 years. Now, did they? Did they outright confirm 100% this will be the
That's what I
blueprint
was
for the
thinking.
next
They were
couple
real
of years?
confident.
They didn't.
I don't-
right? But with
I don't think so.
Frontiers,
No.
with Frontiers, they outright confirmed, yes, this will be the blueprint for the next 10 years.
Because they know that
means
that's what happens.
there's most likely, or at least for the next 10 years, no chance that the next mainline Sonic game will just randomly switch like Lost World did or Shadow did. I get the feeling that, I'm the optimistic Sonic fan. I will look at the best of anything. I feel
I
like
feel that. That's a good mindset to
we
have.
truly have a chance, right, at a really good Sonic game coming out very soon, because I feel like with everything that's happened in the last 2 years of Sonic, that with the movies, with the games, with everything that's happened,
We've had a good couple years.
the franchise is looking brighter than it ever had. I mean, this is like the first time Sonic's been this like anything since the 1990s. Like,
I don't know, I
again,
still think
Frontiers
1998 was
is now
pretty
the
good.
best Sonic. Well, I mean, yeah, but again, that's when the Dreamcast failed and all that happened.
Yeah.
Sonic
don't talk
has
about my
never
baby that
been-
way.
Fair.
Okay, man. Like, I love the Dreamcast as well, but I mean, this was the last time. I feel very hopeful. Is it potentially like hope with no reason? Yes. I'm not gonna lie. There is a huge chance of Sonic Team going like, ha, new stupid formula, and just completely all of us over. But again, I feel like with how successful Frontiers is, and again, I talked about this in one of my videos. The reason I feel like Sega's doing so well was because the CEO changed in 2017. I mean, think about it, right? There was a new CEO in 2017. His name is Haruki Sutomi. He is he's like in his 40s. It was very young when he was like in his 30s when he became CEO. As soon as he joined, everything seemed to become better. This was right after Forces released, and everything. That's when the whole like good era of Sonic started out. He was the man.
I mean, that means this
who
first
was literally
Sonic game, the first
he
new
was
Sonic
on-
game, he was in charge.
He
for
was on.
was Team
He
Sonic
was
Racing.
on set. Yeah, I know, but again, he was on set for the Sonic movies. Both movies all the time. He was the guy who was like, okay, we gotta stop with Sonic because this is clearly not working. We gotta do something new. He was the one who gave Sonic Team an extra year to polish up Frontiers, because imagine what Frontiers was if it came out a year before. He was the guy who
I don't even want to think about that.
He was the one who greenlit Prime. He was the one who worked on all of the. He was the one who approved all of the Sonic projects. We would have never gotten the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog under the last CEO. He was the guy who essentially gave us a new era of Sonic. Because without this guy, Sonic would be probably in a much state right now.
Huh.
And I know, like, we Sonic fans will find every
Very
single little
underrated
thing in a
person.
Sonic game to absolutely, like, dogpile on a game and say this game has its flaws, it has everything. But at the same time, I feel like for the first time in a very long time, Sega's in the hands of a good CEO that knows what the he's doing. So in my eyes,
Well said.
especially with that announcement at the Game Awards where they're bringing back dead franchises, not only Sega but Sonic are finally in like good hands. Like
Well said.
I feel
Well
like,
said, Nino Mouse.
I feel like
You're right.
for the first time in a very long time, we can finally like at least somewhat relax and think we might get a good Sonic game instead of thinking, oh well, they got like a 50-50 chance of screwing up. It's like a 60-40 now, which is an improvement.
Yeah.
So
So
I feel like
yeah.
for the first time in a very long time, I'm just gonna close this up. They're finally doing something that could end up in Sonic becoming once again mainstream. Do I think it's gonna start competing with Mario? Absolutely not. I mean, have you seen Wonder compared to Superstars?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's never. Sonic will most likely never reach the highs of Mario, but will he reach his own highs that may shock us all one day? I think so. I think
Well said.
so.
Very well said. Let's
So-
give a little round of applause.
I absolutely
Well, honestly, well said, Nino Mouse. Well said.
That was very well
So, one thing I'd like to touch on that is that I agree with you, Needle Mouse. Like, absolutely, that was super well said. But I feel like one thing I would touch on is that I think that right now I've put my faith in Sonic Team. I've done it.
I'm
Frontiers and Update 3 have really proven to me that Sonic Team can make something really cool. And so what I'm going to do is at this time, I know it sounds kind of stupid, I'm really just going to trust the process. And if I don't really care, like if a game looks bad, I'ma just trust it. And if a game turns out to
That's
be bad,
probably not a
then-
very healthy
then-
mindset to have.
Now hold on.
No, listen.
I'm only having that mindset right now because if the next Sonic game turns out to not be good, I am going to be very, very upset because I think that Sonic Team they have the perfect opportunity. Like this is the best opportunity to flip and try. They just gotta like put the gas down and actually make something really good. Because like you were saying, Needle Mouse, it's in better hands now. Sonic is back in a lot of bigger limelight, not exactly like the culture is all about it or something, but he's in a much better spot now. And it's like I feel like that since we're in such a good like little wedge here, I feel like if they don't actually take that opportunity and run with it, I'm going to be extremely disappointed.
Me too.
And so that's what I'm saying. So right now, I'm putting my faith in it, but that doesn't mean that I'm just gonna. I'm saying that
Agreed.
so that
Agreed.
I'll be.
Yeah,
I'm saying
I
that
agree.
so that I will be more critical of the next Sonic game. I'm going to put my faith in Sonic Team so that if the game turns out
Yeah,
to
you're
be
gonna
bad,
set your
I'll actually be
expectations higher. You know
disappointed.
what? I'm wrong. That is a good mindset to have.
That's what I'm saying. I'm doing that so that I will be more critical, because if I don't put my faith in Sonic Team, then I'll just be like a bystander looking at it. It's like, oh, that's just a alright Sonic game. That's not that bad. But if I'm actually involved with it and put myself there where I'm like, this has to be a good game, if it isn't a good game, then I'm actually going to be more logical
Yeah,
about
set your
it, at least in my
expectations.
mind.
Set your expectations reasonably high.
That's
this
the
is
thing.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'm not expecting the best game ever, but it cannot be worse than Frontiers. So like it has to be better than
It has
Frontiers.
to,
to
be, it
surpass-
has to be at least as good as Frontiers, in my eyes.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to
Like, if
be
it's
at least
as-
a good bit better.
If it's as good as Frontiers, I'll be satisfied. Because I like
It's
Frontiers.
like what
The thing.
it's like what
the
Justin
thing about
said. If
Sonic is, no, go ahead, Supercon.
I was just gonna say, it's like Justin said. If they still haven't surpassed Frontiers, like they said, their goal is to surpass it, and if they still can't top, like I think he said Unleashed a while back, then they know they failed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing, right? Well, the
Wait,
thing
you
is,
you still going?
right? One more thing, if I may, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
This is a
big
speech.
Listen, when I get worked up about like things that I like, I gotta.
Oh no, I get that.
I got you. Go ahead.
That's why I can't make videos.
Pour your
without
heart
script.
out.
I feel like sometimes I feel like I have no say in this because I'm a newbie. I joined like in 2021, but I feel like I've gotten into every corner of the Sonic franchise, learned as much as I can, experienced what other people experienced when they were first experiencing Sonic,
that
and
was me.
I after everything, after liking this,
I still love being
much,
being Spider-Man.
I feel like all the time I've always felt Sonic is so good, but it's only good for us Sonic fans, right? Like, for the first Frontiers was like the first time in a long time when a Sonic game appealed not just to us, but the wider media. Like, this was like the best-selling Sonic game in Japan, and it earned like a shit ton of awards in Japan for the first time ever. The thing is, I feel like the future of Sonic is so open with the movies, the shows. There's so much shit that Sonic Team is doing, and there's so much stuff that's happening. I feel like almost, if given enough time, resources, and everything, I feel like Sonic Team is in a perfect position. And like G-Dub said, they gotta grasp a hold of this opportunity, because if they don't, I don't think Sonic can recover. For the first time ever, I'd say, again, Frontiers is the best-selling 3D Sonic game of all time. And comparing this to the Sales of Forces, it's like, where did this spike come from? Like, they finally designed a good game. So, all I want from now on, or not even from now on, all I want from Sonic, my biggest hope, if they continue this momentum, they continue with all the shows, they continue the movies, they continue the outer branches of the franchise, continue expanding and continue creating more and more things that appeal to us. Like, my dream for Sonic would be if we had 3 running Sonic, like, gameplay styles. Like, imagine if every now and again
That feels a little
we
too
get
much.
okay, actually, I know, no, sorry, not 3. I didn't mean to say 3, I meant to say 2, right?
Okay, two words.
Because
Sonic
classic
Mother
Sonic, no one likes classic Sonic.
Excuse- I like
He can
classic
honestly kill
Sonic.
Yes.
himself.
No,
Hey.
no, I like classic Sonic.
So here's
No,
the
keep
thing.
it around.
What I would love. Let me finish.
Sorry,
I'm
sorry.
almost done.
I'm sorry.
Please.
I'm sorry. I'll stop interrupting you.
The thing. Imagine a world, right, where every now and again we would get a 3D modern Sonic game that's open zone, and that is like really good open zone, and then at another time we get a boost game, whether 3D or 2D, does not matter, with its
I'd like another
controls
Sonic
being,
Rush.
if it's 2D exactly, if it's 2D being so akin to Sonic Rush, and if it's 3D to be akin to Sonic Unleashed. And then we also get like multimedia, like the shows and the movies. That would be a perfect Sonic world in my eyes. That would be
I can understand
absolutely
that.
fantastic. Like,
That'd be great.
again, could this happen? Absolutely. Is it going to? Probably not. But do I still hold out the future? For the future? Absolutely.
It's very well
So
said.
yeah, that's my piece. That's my piece. I think that Sonic is in good hands. I think that we should be hopeful. Try to tamp down the pessimism and just look at the future and be like, yeah, Sonic Team probably got this. I'm done.
Okay.
I don't
Hold on,
think
hold
so.
on. Okay, I got
I
two
think
things.
it's just
All
about
right.
my turn.
Yep, Lore Master.
Hold on, wait.
your
I'll be
worst.
fast. I got two things.
Actually,
I got
no-
two things here.
Because
go
I'm
ahead,
gonna be
Nokai.
long, so Nokai, go ahead.
Yeah, Nokai, go ahead.
I'll be.
I'll go in between that because I got some stuff to say.
Call me Ricardo the way I'm speed supersonic. All right, here we go. First, you said the M word, so it's not your turn to talk anymore. Second, that you are right. Objectively, they are in a very good position right now. However,
Can they keep it?
this was the same situation years ago.
Yes.
That's right, yeah.
Management was very different, but
Yes.
this is the same situation they were
That's
in,
what I'm
and
saying.
they fumbled
That's what I'm saying.
so
That's
hard.
what I'm saying. The real Sonic cycle. It's gonna happen again.
So, the fact that there are different people in charge, that's very good.
Maybe it'll be better.
But does that, like, it takes an entire team to develop a game. It takes an entire team to develop a show. It takes an entire team to develop a comic. Who's gonna make sure that something like 06 doesn't happen again? Because, like, all it takes is for the
Rise of Lyric.
higher-ups to say, all it takes is for the higher-ups, the main person in charge, to be like, you know what, I think I want to switch out the teams. I think I want to make something completely different. Suddenly we have another Sonic 06. Suddenly we have another Sonic 1 GBA. Suddenly we have another Sonic Boom. It
exactly.
doesn't take much.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
no, you're
So
right.
they're in a good position, but anything could happen. So I'm being optimistic, but I'm also gonna... I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. That's all I'm saying.
No, stop! Silver was not good at that game.
Yes, he
Alright.
was.
I want
he was
him
better
back
than
so
he was.
bad.
in
That was
Sonic
kind
06.
of a banger line.
Luke, say your piece.
Shut up. I want
Right,
Station
him
turn,
back.
go.
Luke's stage
Okay.
turn. Luke's
I don't
stage turn.
think.
Okay.
I don't think the current Sonic team knows what exactly made Frontiers good.
That's what I'm horrified
That's
of.
a very scary
Yeah,
thought.
that is something
Yeah, I
that is
can
a
see that.
prevalent problem.
Because if you look at base Frontiers, you know, it had its issues, but it was a nice package. And we were all like, okay, well, Sonic Team's got this. And then we got Update 3. And I'm not saying that it was horrible, but you could definitely see that struggle of like, all right, well, this is what the fans want, so let's listen to this. But I always felt like whenever they implemented something that we asked for, it wasn't exactly in the way that you would do it if you...
It's been said.
if you heard
it's been
it.
said before. Sonic Team is a monkey's paw.
What?
Oh, you
What?
What does
you don't
that
know what
mean?
the monkey's paw is?
Oh, you know what
No.
monkey's paw
Yeah,
means?
no.
So I'm just like, what do you mean by that?
It's essentially like. Let me use it.
I
It's-
know what monkey's paw is, but
Okay. Well.
Explain
know
the
what that is,
saying.
right? Okay.
Explain the saying.
Well, essentially.
Explain what you mean by it.
Monkey's paw means
What
the
do you mean by
monkey's
that?
paw was a story about a literal monkey's paw, like a disembodied monkey's paw that you held in your hand, and you would wish for something, and the finger
Right.
would curl, and it would give you exactly what you asked for, but in the worst possible way, like a couple.
A good Sonic
Right.
way. A good
couple,
Sonic
For
Gotcha.
game.
example, I believe in right. I believe in one of them. One of the stories. One of the things that happened with the monkey's paw. A couple wished to be unbelievably wealthy, and what the monkey's paw did was their son died, and he in his will he left them all their money, but also their son was dead. But they were
Right.
unfathomably
Okay,
wealthy.
so
Their
I
son-
see what you're saying, and I agree.
Right.
This is what Sonic Team does, but what makes me concerned is the fact that they don't seem to realize that they're doing that.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
very.
That
scary
is the
thought.
scary part.
That's a
I
scary
won't lie.
thought.
That
I'll
happen.
give you that.
So, do they have it in them to make the next game as good as Frontiers, or are they still, you know, that's a question. That's all I wanted to
That's a good
bring
question.
into
That's a
the
So-
very interesting question.
conversation.
I feel, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I feel like all they need, because again, Sonic Team has shown time and time again they can do good games. They can do good games. What they need is time and resources.
Yes.
Because if there's
Yes.
one thing that Sega's never been able to give them in the past was time and resources. But now when they changed the CEO, that was my biggest point. Because the CEO changed. Again, like he gave us another year of Frontiers. Frontiers is supposed to be the 30th anniversary game, right? Like 06. But guess what? Unlike that CEO that was during the time of 06, he didn't rush it out. he gave them more time.
Right.
Izuka said, we need more time. The guy was like, you got another year. Keep working. And the thing is,
That was a good move. Yeah.
it worked. Exactly. The CEO now is the biggest, is like something that people don't realize, but is a major change. The CEO, like a major change.
Yeah, Needle Mouse is right.
Yes, and you see the contrast there between they had a load of time to make, to get Frontiers out, and then compare that to the updates where the spin dash, if you let go of it in the air, Sonic just sort of runs and loses all of his vertical momentum.
Yeah.
Stuff with
But they got that
what
extra
other
year.
examples
That
are
wouldn't
there
happen
of
if the
stuff
06
that's
guy
kind
was
of
in charge.
unpolished and
Oh my god, we would be so...
maybe, but I'm looking for examples of stuff in Frontiers Update 3 was kind of unpolished. Like, maybe the startup animations.
Of course it was unpolished. But
They weren't thinking about that too well.
3 brand new characters. They had to implement a final
Yeah, the fact that they got this
So
done
much-
in
Well-
probably like a year and a half is kind of crazy. I'm gonna be honest.
more than a year and a half. They started working on the updates as soon as the game was launched.
But check this out. The latest update for Update 3 that completely breaks the other
they
characters
ruined
in
it. They
combat.
basically ruined
that wouldn't have that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, even just one quick play test would have gotten rid of that. So I don't know.
I think someone went in there for like 5 minutes and they were just like multiply it by 10 and they didn't really think about it.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm terrified of. All it takes is for some people in charge to be like, you know what? Good enough. Our fans don't care. Go for it.
But
It's a
but
scary
is
thing.
that? But this is what makes me concerned. Is that the higher up saying, "Boop, you have to build now. You don't have time to playtest this," or is it them going, "Oh yeah, this works. This is probably right," and then not checking it? Because that second option
feel,
is much
again, though,
scarier.
Is more Kishimoto said that the 3 updates are sort of I don't know if you guys remember, but Kishimoto when he was like doing his Twitter rampage said that the 3 content updates are sort of like what they can do to
Experiments.
see what works and what doesn't.
Pretty much
Exactly,
experiments.
it's an experiment.
It
to
was
see-
an experiment.
they're
You
going
can
to
tell
take
that.
this exactly. So he said that they're going to take the best parts of these 3 updates and push them forward and make them better for the next Sonic.
That's good.
And do they
These are
know what the
helping
best
telling
parts
the
are?
truth.
And that is that
I
you
was
do
about
bring
to
up a
say,
good
Luke,
point,
you're
Luke.
right about that though.
I was about to say, I was like, that's
do
the
they
question.
know? Do they know what the best parts are? Do they?
I mean,
I think it's
Only
time.
time
he's
will tell,
listening
really.
to fan feedback, so I guess
That's what I'm saying. Right now, only time will tell, and that's why.
I mean,
that's
they
what I'm
are
saying
listening to
what's
fan
my full
feedback more
feeling.
than ever.
That
I
is
think it's
true,
time for
but-
Expo to go.
Yep,
Yeah,
Mr. Lore Master,
This
take
is
it away.
gonna take
Here we
2
go.
hours.
Hooba
Yeah.
dooba.
So,
go.
Here we
before I
go.
do, I wanna
Hooba dooba.
ask, do you want me to talk about what I think is going to happen or what I want to happen?
Both.
What do you want to talk about?
What I want to
I-
talk about
both.
both.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no.
real
What,
quick.
what do you think?
think?
I want to
Like,
hear
what
you
do you
think.
Go
think
for it.
Let's
is
start
in
with what I
store
think.
for us soon?
Yeah, what I think. So, I absolutely agree with everything that Luke was bringing up about do they even know what is correct. I think obviously the next thing is going to be that Sonic and Shadow thing. I'm personally a Zippo believer. A lot of people like that watch this are going to be like, why do you believe in Zippo? I'm like, he's gotten some things wrong. But this is the same man who correctly predicted everything about Paper Mario the Origami King, Metroid Dread, Sonic Origins,
Colors Ultimate.
and,
Colors Ultimate.
not really.
And Sonic
He didn't-
Frontiers.
no,
All the
Yeah.
level
really.
themes being reused.
Colors Ultimate got leaked on
Frontiers,
a
that's right,
foreign
yeah.
website.
He literally said that all the levels were going to be reused. He got the name of the game before it was leaked online. He got a lot of the stuff like that down. I do remember seeing that, and I remember hearing somebody who has been very similarly sourced to Zippo say that there were reused level designs before Zippo even dropped that. So, yeah.
I mean, I can summarize this very quickly.
Yeah, no, Zippo's-
People are like, why do you believe in Zippo? To that I say, why do you believe in Sonic Team?
That is true. Exactly.
Great
Thank you
point.
for segueing that. So
That's
my
pretty
thing
funny.
is, I think that Sonic Team definitely cares, but I don't think they are aware. I think Update 3 showed me that there is a heavy language barrier that I don't think will ever be repaired. Because in Update 3, people said the game's too easy, right? Because for one, you're playing on high speed mode. Second, because, you know, it kind of is pretty easy. And to course correct, Kishimoto made one of the most unfairly difficult Sonic games ever released. It's like Celeste B-Sides, which is not... You do not want this freaking update that fixes the ending, not just additions, like fixes the ending that people complained about, to be like as hard as like a Celeste B-side mission. Like, you don't...
That's one of the unpolished bits I was
Exactly.
looking for.
Yeah, it's like you don't do that. And it shows me that they didn't playtest that and all that junk. So whenever people said, oh, this is too hard, they did it again. They course corrected. They made the game too easy. They made the combat overly simple.
That is so crazy.
I just feel like...
We don't.
I
get one or
think
the
what
other.
they're
We don't
doing
get
is they're
one or the
taking
other, so.
everything... They're taking everything at face value and taking everything literally. So whenever people say they want the next Sonic game to be more open, I think we're just going to get Skyrim the Sonic game, but just far less polished and far bigger and far just like too big. I think
It's gonna be the
actually-
Banjo-Tooie to Sonic Frontiers.
I think they have the heart. I just don't think they have the right
Banjo-Tooie.
blueprints. I think they have the heart, but I don't think they have the proper blueprints. I think that's
Yes.
my take. But
Takeshi Iizuka needs to retire.
the next game, I think, is just going
Sorry,
to be
that was
like,
a
I don't think it's going to be done by Kishimoto.
Yes,
I
no.
think it's going to be done by like a side team that's just doing like a regular like level based Sonic game. It doesn't like Zippo, before people say like, oh, if the game comes out and it's not boost, they're like, oh, Zippo said it's boost. See, he's wrong. He's not, because he never said that. He said it was going to be.
He said it was. Yeah, you're right.
That's
He did
what-
say.
The
I
previous
just opened
games
the
before
blog.
Frontiers.
Right,
which
like
were
everybody got that
level-based.
wrong when
That's what
like
that
everybody
means.
thought he had said that Superstars was going to be in the retro engine and it wasn't. But
Yeah.
he didn't even say that.
It
Somebody
wasn't,
else did.
but like
And I know
no,
that
he
that's the case.
like what I think it is like he gets information that's kind of telephoned to him. I think it's
Yes.
like
Weird that
because he
people
said it
just,
was
like apparently
yeah
reach
he's
out to random
if he
people.
did, I don't know if he said it was built off the retro engine, but let's say he did.
He didn't.
The game had a lot of design elements from the retro engine.
Well,
I think that's kind of what that means.
I mean, yeah, it's just
Look at it this way.
Like, think about this.
Zippo is not the leaker himself. He's not the guy
he's-
going into the
he's the
building
messenger.
being like, "Hey, I looked through the curtains and I saw the logo for Sonic
He's
Unleashed
the
2."
messenger.
It was
Don't shoot the messenger.
Stop giving
Yeah.
me hope. Stop giving me hope.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't shoot.
Yeah.
Essentially, just don't bully the messenger. He is just a messenger. But that's okay. One last thing about Zippo. Where did the debate for the 2D Sonic game come up? That's right. Anyway, so aside from Zippo, I think Sonic Team has the heart. I just don't think they have the proper blueprints. But the next game is not going to be done by them. It's going to be done by a side team that does something like kind of like Dream Team, but like not mission based. It's probably just going to be like properly level based. Probably going to have Ian Flynn, which means Sonic's going to go, oh, let's do it to it. This is something that I've always said since day one in the video games. Oh, yeah.
Gotta
I
go
don't
fast.
buy
Gotta
that
go
line, I'm not
fast.
gonna lie.
I was waiting.
I liked Sonic in Frontiers and Dream.
There was a time when
That's
we
not,
just,
that's
you
not
know,
what I'm saying.
for everybody watching
That's
this
not what I'm
podcast,
saying.
Hashtag bring back Jason
for
Griffith.
everybody listening to this podcast, I want you to remember there was a time, an actual time in human history when we desperately wanted Ian Flynn to write a game.
Yeah, and I still stand by that.
want
But that's
the
it.
good
That's
old
not
I
days.
my-
still
that's
stand
my
by that
point.
too.
I would
When did we
gladly
not
talk
want
about-
Ian?
I would gladly talk about my thoughts on Ian, but that's not the time today. So
Yeah, that's not the
that
time.
is what
We got-
I think.
we're already-
What I think is going to
Yo,
happen
super
is like
con.
let's get that out before I get to what I want. What I think is going to happen is we're going to get this next game that's Sonic and Shadow, and the next is going to be Open Zone, and I think it's just going to be kind of a little messy. But what I want to happen is I want them to essentially start over for the video games. I think the main story that they're doing right now
A
for like the
reboot?
main canon should move to IDW, and I think the games need a hard reboot, like hard, like everything is done,
Like
and everything starts from the
06,
beginning.
like 06, like an 06
is-
reboot.
No, 06 is like a soft reboot. I mean like something hard like Boom, but like new lore, new characters, new all of that. I think, yes, because let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because Sonic lore in itself has become so convoluted, just absolutely just like completely like it's It's there's a word that I know exactly, but it's not at the top of my head. I wrote this down. The current Sonic the Hedgehog continuity is convoluted and inconsistent. It has become to the point where casuals won't even factor the idea of a story in a Sonic game anymore, which is so unfortunate considering the clear passion that has been recently put into them with stuff like Frontiers. So, like, I just think I am personally a massive fan of both stories and gameplay being put into Sonic. And I think they're kind of getting the gameplay down with the open zone thing. Obviously, I think it's going to be a bit messy later on, you know, but...
X-Ball is
What?
actually cooking. I have always, like, I was afraid to bring it up because opinions, but, the thing is, he's kind of right. Like, hear me out. But, like, I feel like a reboot would be perfect. Because, think about it, right?
Well, hold on, I'm not done yet.
slate. Okay, go ahead. Never mind.
So, like, I just think that, like, something that has more of a mix
Wrap it
of
up, though.
story and gameplay that, like, has a heavy emphasis on it. I want a Sonic game to make me feel. I want a Sonic game to hit me in the gut. I want it to... I want a Sonic game that really doesn't make Sonic this perfect messiah figure. I want
Oh my
I
God,
want this
yes.
next game to... Like, that's why I want it to be a reboot and not something in the mainline games. Because
I feel like
Ian
you can tell that
seems
story
to
with
be...
the mainline games, though.
You cannot, and I'm going to tell you why.
You can.
Because the way that Ian has been writing these characters feels like that he wants something very similar. I think he also wants to reboot, but instead of accepting that idea and just writing the characters as they've always been, he's kind of trying to switch them, to make them kind of not themselves. Amy is no longer, like, the passionate girl that, like, sees the, like, that just sees the best in everybody and all that. She's autistic with a hyperfixation on tarot cards now. who is hell-bent on, like, not being the damsel in distress anymore. And I'm like, she is literally just girl boss the character. And that's
okay with
annoying. I'm not okay with that because that's not Amy.
Okay.
Knuckles is whatever, but, like, he's kind of being like, I want to see the world, but, like, that's not Knuckles. Knuckles is like literally the definition of stubbornness. He is so stubborn that he never wants to leave his stupid island. Like, he only leaves it whenever it is absolutely necessary. That's kind of like how it was in Frontiers, where he only left
I mean,
because he
that
was
might get
pulled
boring
in.
after a little while.
Tails,
They can change.
okay, to be honest,
Let him
Tails was
cook.
kinda
Let him
needed.
cook.
Tails was kind of needed, to be honest. Like,
It
Ian
was.
doing Tails was perfectly fine. Yeah, Tails was needed. And then Sonic, like, Sonic has been... He used to be that guy that wasn't... In Black Knight, he used to be the guy that wasn't necessarily the hero. He was just the guy that does what he thinks is right. Even if, like,
Yeah.
it's this... If everybody thinks he's a stupid idiot, like, he
Yeah.
still does what he
That's what I like so
believes
much
is
about
the
Black
right
Knight's
thing to do.
story. Because technically,
Like, yeah, literally Black Knight.
he is.
But
Technically, he is causing the inevitable collapse of an entire society, but he's doing it for reasons that he thinks are right, and I like that.
Okay. But in the recent stuff,
And
like
I think
Ian's
he's
done,
right.
I'm not saying this is bad.
He's definitely
But,
right.
like, I'm not saying this is bad, but, like, Ian's kind of turned him into this superhero, kind of. I don't dislike that, but I don't think it fits with how Sonic is. It's kind of like, they're essentially, Ian is essentially doing what people complained Pontaff was doing back in 2010. But because he's not doing it in a way that is poorly written,
Yeah.
people like it.
Yeah, that
Which
was my main
is
issue
my
with
issue.
Pontaff.
I don't
They're
want
not-
it to be
they
only-
don't write well.
Yeah, like,
The
this
plot
is,
of colors
like,
is fine.
If they made Sonic a goofball, but he was well written, people would have still minded it, but they wouldn't have minded it as much.
No, I don't
And, like,
agree
Rook
with you.
Station
That's kind of-
said
that's kind
something
of my
similar, I
issue.
swear.
I would have had no
Because
problem with it.
a lot of these characters,
In one
the
of his
thing with
videos.
Knuckles, like, wanting to see the
I
world,
did.
Sonic being a superhero and all of that, it's not poorly written at all. I think it's well written. I just don't think it fits with how the canon in Sonic has been going before Pontaff showed up. And
Quickly, if I may.
Yeah.
Quickly, just to barge in, I feel like what X-Fool is saying might be the most based thing I've heard in this podcast. No, I'm being
Congratulations,
like,
sir.
I love you all. Like, you're all awesome. No homo.
Please.
But like, listen. The thing is, Sonic is has become so convoluted that they need a whole lore manager.
Yeah. And even with that
So
lore
to the
manager,
point is to the point where I'm sort of like, but stop, take it back for a second and at least know what your characters are supposed to be. The last time I felt we had perfect Sonic writing or near perfect Sonic writing was Black Knight. Last time we got near perfect Shadow writing. In fact, perfect in my eyes was Sonic 06, for example.
Yeah.
The thing is, these characters have been growing so much to the point where there's no more room for them to grow. It's like a giant room with a tree. The tree keeps on growing, but the room is too small. So it's gonna get to the point where the tree has to break through the box, and then it also goes to hell.
Yeah.
So the thing is, cut down that tree and start anew. Holy shit! I'm going full philosophical.
Okay.
But the thing is,
okay, that's not what I'm necessarily thinking of. Is like, I think you can keep the current canon because I like the stories that they're going for in the canon.
Yes.
I like the world that they've
Like-
kind of established a little bit, but I don't think it should be the main. Here's a question for you. Why do you think most superheroes reboot after a while? Why do you think
because
think
they
most
need
superheroes
to.
have,
They,
like,
they lost
5,000
their
worlds?
they lost their character. That's it.
Well, it's
Because they lost their
because there are
character.
so many different interpretations of this character. If
Exactly.
it's imagine if, like, instead of getting the Amazing Spider-Man or the MCU Spider-Man movies, it all continued to be Tobey, but he kept going through these character arcs. He kept going
Would be
through
peak.
like all of this stuff, right? Like it would have been sure, I guess, but it would have just been the actor. The writers would have been the different. The movies would have been the exact same, but it just would have been the same universe, the same Toby, same everything. Like it would have been stupid. And that's like I think like these characters keep trying to grow, keep trying to change, keep trying
Exactly.
to change them to like kind of freshen it up. But that's not going to work. That doesn't
See my
work.
my tree example. It makes sense because
Keeping
the
needle
tree
mouse
keeps-
tree
philosophy.
Exactly. That's gonna be a canonical thing in my.
We need to put a tree in the thumbnail. Supercon, can we put a tree in the thumbnail?
Yeah. Can we put a tree?
I'm
in
not
the
putting a
thumbnail?
tree in the
Don't put it
thumbnail.
in the
Tree in the
thumbnail. That makes the video
thumbnail.
Just
I'm
one
not.
tree.
The thumbnail's already
Okay,
probably
okay.
crowded as it is.
All in favor
Alright,
of putting
okay,
a
so
tree
here-
in the thumbnail,
so
say
here's the
aye.
thing, right?
Aye.
Here's the like that tree that keeps on essentially growing and grow. Like if a tree is a character, the tree gets cut down every now and again, but not all the way, and you plant a new tree on that stump. So essentially,
plant a tree
you're not going anywhere. That's shut up.
I don't think
Um,
that's...
Shut up. So the thing
Okay.
is, right, they need to restart the franchise in my eyes. Not necessarily kill everything in everything. No. Absolutely not. Because the world of Sonic is so diverse, it's so interesting. But unless there's no way for them to tell us new stories, and there's no way for them to give us new character arcs and new everything, let a soft reboot. Or like a harder reboot than 06. Harder reboot than 06. Like a reboot that brought their characters to ground zero, where they can build themselves back up.
06 was
Or,
not that.
not
06
necessar-
was not a reboot.
Exactly.
06 is more of a
So-
soft reboot.
Yeah,
Or
soft.
soft reboot.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say
Oh,
is that
God,
like,
this has been going on for almost
I'm
2
sorry. I want to
When are we
wrap
all
up,
gonna
but
get
everybody's
Yeah, we-
kind of like adding on to what I'm saying. But like, let me wrap up here.
I do
Yeah,
have something
yeah.
to say, but I'm gonna let
Yeah,
you guys.
let me
I
wrap
was
up
just
and
saying,
then
go ahead.
I can
Thing
talk.
too.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Go take a
So
Shit,
with
I booked
this
3
like
hours.
reboot that I'm thinking of, it's more so. It's not like more like you keep the characters, but all that. No. What I'm saying is I want this to be a whole new world. I want this to have kind of the same characters, but like the way that Ian's been writing them tells me that he wants the same thing. So I want these characters to kind of stay the way they are in IDW, but like in the video games. So that way it kind of can appeal more to casuals. They can kind of come in and not be like, what is happening? Like this is a new Sonic, right? It isn't like the perfect like Messiah-like figure. It's just a guy who does what he does because he thinks it's right, loves freedom and all that, but like maybe he has some insecurities. Maybe he has like kind of the worry that he won't be able to like do what he wishes to do in terms of like helping the ones he loves, maybe, or something like that. I've kind of been writing this down, so that's why I'm so like kind of invested into this. Like kind of like not an origin for Sonic. I don't want an origin story for Sonic because Sonic as
hell
a
no,
character.
please.
like if you're going to ever reboot it, no matter what you do,
They
you
tried
need
to do
keep
that with
the
Sonic
core
Boom,
essentials.
and Sega
You need to
eventually
keep the
just
core
decided to cut it
essentials
down
of
for no
Sonic
reason.
intact. And the core essentials of Sonic are pretty much, I have that written down here. It's essentially
Oh my gosh,
just
I'm prepared for this.
yeah, it's essentially just like from the encyclopedia, verbatim. Sonic is usually laid back and cool, but he's driven to fight injustice, not in the name of the law, but for the ideal of freedom. And essentially, I think they've been doing a good job in keeping that for like, Prime or the movies. I think they've been doing a good job in that, but they're just making a different version of Sonic, which is good. But like for this reboot, you kind of want to like keep that, but I want to make this Sonic more grounded, more not like relatable, but like something where you can feel for him. You can feel for like what he's doing, or like how he feels, or like what kind of like he's doubtful of, but not an origin to where like Sonic is a character about the present. He's been that way since day one. He's been about the present day, the here and now, like doing it while you can immediately, the only way to live life without regrets, all of that, living in the moment. And like kind of giving him an origin story makes it like, do we need that? But
No.
giving him
He's
an
just Sonic.
origin,
It's like
giving him
Cybershow
an
said.
origin
He's just Sonic.
of-
He's just been around doing Sonic things.
exactly, but giving him an origin of his arch nemesis would be very interesting.
He came into
Something that
contact
kind
with a
of-
hard-boiled egg and
something
the
that
chaos
kind
that
of-
rolled.
Actually, you're not very
Okay,
far off
so
from what I'm
he-
thinking. From what I'm thinking,
again-
you're
No,
not
that
very
was
far
a
off.
that was a
Do you
that
guys
was an
remember-
old,
do you guys-
US Comics reference, because that
Do
was a
you
real thing.
do you guys
That was
remember
Fleetway.
that
That was Fleetway.
you guys remember that one egg memo where he goes like, I never knew my cousin Maria well, and they never paid attention to me when I was right there, and even though she was dead, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. That could be actually one of the reasons why Eggman is so well broken.
That
His
would be
family, or
kind
whatever
of
it was,
lame.
or whatever it was. I
I
know.
was a neglected child, so I'm gonna kill the
Yeah,
world.
that's
Yeah,
just
he
so
hates,
lame.
exactly.
He
I'm sorry.
hates like the world.
I know it's
abandoned
lame,
him, so
but what
he's
I'm
gonna
saying,
destroy
no,
the
what
world.
exactly, the world hated him, so
yeah.
now he hates the world, type
Yeah.
of thing. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. What I would
The
love,
world never-
that's for the first time ever. They're showing like some sort of origins to Eggman. 'Cause,
I
the
don't
Eggman
like that.
family line, the Eggman family line is so
That would have been so
complicated.
lame. I'm sorry.
Like, come on, that would have been lame. But an idea.
Actually,
of
no, hold
something-
on.
let me tell you right now why that wouldn't. Because Sonic is about living in the present, right? He's all about doing things like.
And
on
Eggman lives in
impulse,
the
on
past.
impulse.
Oh my god.
No, not the
He's
past.
crazy.
No,
Yeah.
Eggman is more about the past and the future. Because he's always planning
Yeah,
things
exactly.
out. He's always like lamenting on oh, I can never beat Sonic, or he's always planning
That's
for
actually
the
a very
future to
good
destroy
point.
Sonic.
That's actually a really good
they're
point.
They're like polar opposites. They're like polar opposites. Eggman hates the world, and he's always like trying to plan for the future.
Yeah, that's a
lamenting on
good
the
point.
past.
They're a very
Sonic
good
loves
nemesis
the world and
dynamic.
wants to defend it, and always
They're a
lives in
very
the
good
present.
nemesis dynamic. You're right. I never really thought
Exactly.
about that before.
Exactly. And I think that can play into this reboot. Sonic is already established. He's kind of already not already like a hero, but
I'm still not
he's
sure I'm
already
moving
doing
that
his stuff.
side,
He's
but
already
that's a very good point.
fast. He's already messing around. That's never explained. You can headcanon it, but it's never really explained. But you can kind of have a story about how Sonic and Eggman became enemies. And I have I have the whole idea in my head right now, but this is not the time and place for it. I'm just essentially saying what I believe they should go for. But
I
Okay.
think one
That's
thing
essentially
with
it.
Eggman's
Can
character
we
is
wrap
that
up
I think-
now?
yes,
I
we
think
can.
I
Sonic-
haven't
I think-
eaten in
I
2
think-
hours.
Oh, hold on. Wait,
Hold on, hold
one
on.
second, 1 second. I was gonna say, if you're bringing up characters, one interesting thing is I think Eggman. I always thought it was interesting, to me at least, that you're talking about the past, present, and future mindsets that they have. And I was just thinking, to me, that mindset has always made a lot of sense because that would be why Eggman has such a hatred towards Sonic, because it's just his pet peeve is kind of what it is. It just drives him up the
Oh my
flipping
gosh,
wall.
we've been doing this
Yeah.
for 2 hours.
We have.
that.
Yeah, I know.
We gotta keep
Yeah.
going.
Almost
let's-
2.5.
Yeah, let's wrap
All right.
up. Yeah.
So,
So
please.
wrap up. We all have very optimistic views.
Well, I
on the
mean, we
future of
only
Sonic.
only
We? Who's we?
we only got
Never
we
mind.
only
Hold
got-
on,
we
wait.
only
Who's-
need
Never
amounts,
mind.
we got to
Never
talk about our
mind.
future.
we all
Never
have
mind.
our own
Never
opinions.
mind. I take that back.
Me
we have
and Needle Mouse
we
are
have,
optimistic.
We have very slight. Yeah, exactly. Supercon is. You're right. Okay, we have very slightly optimistic but very worried opinions on the future. Like Sonic, it's like a 50-50. Sonic Team could fuck it up, or we could get an actually good game. How about that?
Exactly. Everybody-
I will say.
We all have our own
phrase
hopes
I've
and
heard 1,000
concerns for this
times.
franchise.
I am very.
I'm gonna say the phrase I've heard so many
concerned,
times.
but I'm
When that
excited.
IGN footage came out, everyone said, "I'm cautiously optimistic."
Yep, that's about my thoughts.
I heard that phrase so many times, it's crazy.
This is
mean,
the Sonic franchise. What do you expect?
This is just always
I know,
what's
but
gonna happen.
specific that exact phrase.
Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
That's how it be. All right, so everybody got
Alright,
their
hold on,
points
hold
across.
on, hold on.
Hold up.
Yeah.
No
I just
time.
want to say.
Okay, no, okay,
I
go
just
ahead.
want to say. This is just a quick story that happened yesterday, and I just
boy.
want to put this perspective out there.
All right, go ahead.
So, it's almost the end of the day, work's about to end, and me and this girl are just sitting there talking, and she's
boy.
telling me about how her
W?
I think it's boyfriend, fiance, I don't know, whatever.
Oh, never mind.
She's telling me about how her yeah, no. She's telling me about basically her I think
Zero
it's boyfriend.
Riz.
0% Riz.
Yeah, let me steal this girl real quick. Okay.
I
So
love how we're all completely like antagonizing this now.
That's
so she's telling me
All right, let him finish.
Yeah.
Let him finish.
let me cook, please. So basically, she's telling me about how her, I think it's boyfriend or whatever, she kind of was all over the place, but she was telling me about how her boyfriend's super into, like, Marvel and Star Wars and stuff. They've been binging all the movies, they're getting into it.
Same.
And
Me too.
she doesn't understand a lot, but she was telling me how her boyfriend, so I can already tell this guy's a nerd, but he's telling her about how, quote, Star Wars desperately needs a lore master.
Yeah,
So,
it does.
Agreed.
I just want
Star Wars
to, and
does.
I mean, she's right.
She's right.
From what I've heard, it's awful. I don't know a lot about Star Wars, but from
Yeah,
what I've
so
heard,
I
it's
can,
awful.
yeah,
Based
they,
on
they
what my
do.
dad
They
was
do.
telling me.
Ever since after the sequels, there's only been like a singular good show, and that's it.
Oh, is this turning into the Star Wars podcast now?
No.
Oh, definitely
Wrap
not.
up
I don't
this.
know
Wrap
enough
up
to
the
keep that
Star
going.
Wars discussion.
Wrap it up.
All I'm saying is, whatever you think is bad in this franchise, and I mean it is bad. Sonic has awful lore. Let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's just get that straight. Whatever you think is bad, it could be so much worse than what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
It could always be worse.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So be
You never
so be
reach a
very
point
thankful
that it's so bad
that
it can't get any worse. It will always get
yeah.
worse.
Like I'm not gonna say I want another meta era because I definitely don't. But I'd rather have the meta era than have whatever the frick was going on with Star Wars.
Yep.
I don't even know
Well
what's
put.
going on with them.
Luke, why did you sound like mad, bruh?
What?
What?
We got a Star
What?
Wars fan in here.
I'm a Star
Yeah.
Wars fan.
I like Star
All right.
Wars.
Anyway,
I'm
let's
just a
wrap this up.
Skywalker.
All right. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah,
everybody
let's
got
get-
the.
let's-
All right.
Anyway,
Anyways, everybody
I
got
might
their points
know the
across and
future,
whatnot.
But then you still control the... I'm not making that reference.
Wait, what?
Nothing. I was
Everybody
making a
got their
Sonic.
points across.
he made it.
Let's go. Come on.
All right.
this is
So
what I
everybody got. Sorry. So everybody got their points across and whatnot. Everybody.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
I
All
already
right.
made my
I
point
believe
about
so.
Wow.
the real Sonic cycle. The real Sonic cycle. The cycle.
Sounds great.
Watch
Accelerate.
Xiao
Let's
Mix's
get
video.
this over with.
Go watch.
No,
Just go watch
he
Xiao
already
Mix's
talked
video on
about
it.
No.
Go watch
Go
Xiao
watch
Mix's
Xiao
video.
Mix.
Yeah,
Oh
go
my
watch Xiao
gosh,
Mix's video on the
okay.
Sonic cycle. We've been
Please,
doing this for a
no,
long
not
time.
that
All
Sonic
right.
Cycle. Not that Sonic cycle. That Sonic cycle.
Ah, outro
No.
moment.
All right.
Outro.
That Sonic
G-Dub, hold on. Hold on.
Ah.
That Sonic cycle isn't real.
Outro.
Okay.
None of
Should
this
I-
is
wait, should I
usable.
talk about the Sonic
All right.
Outro.
He already done.
All right. I mean, we've already been going on for so long. Can you do it quickly?
Okay, so basically, it's what I was saying before. What's gonna happen is, and I hope this doesn't happen. I would prefer if this didn't happen. It's gonna happen. What's gonna wind up happening is we're gonna get another Frontiers. It's gonna be even better. We're gonna get another Frontiers after that. It's gonna be even better than that one. And then but it's not gonna be perfect. And then we're gonna be like, all right, we've almost made it perfect. Now just give us this and this and this, and it'd be perfect. Then for some reason or another, they're gonna throw it out for no reason and give us something that's stupid and that nobody likes. And then they're gonna keep going with that for about a year and a half. then we're gonna go back to the Frontiers formula, and they're gonna mess that up too. This has happened twice now, and then they're just gonna reset everything again.
Only time will tell.
Only time.
Only time will
Yep.
tell until then, man. Only time
So
will
you
tell.
know what
That's the
that's
best I can
happening?
put it.
No.
All right.
Only
It's probably
time
gonna
will
happen.
tell.
All right. Well, I think with that said, that could pretty much bring it to good closing to this.
been fun.
Thank you all of you for being a part of this so much out of this very
pleasure.
very long thing.
This has been so much
Two
fun.
This was a lot of fun.
hours.
At the end of the day,
Let's try and set a time limit next time.
at the end of the
15
day, we
gigabyte
learned
recording.
something. At the end of the day, we learned
Yeah, at
something.
the end of
Sonic
the day,
Super
we learned something.
Sonic Superstar sucks, and Dream Team was a good game. Anyways, links to their channels in the description. links to everybody's
This was a lot
channels
of
will be
fun.
in the
Thanks for having
description. Thank you all so much for watching. Go check out all these other creators. They are all really fantastic. And thank you so much for
Needle Mouse
watching this
especially.
podcast.
I don't think I'm fantastic.
Thank you all so much for watching this podcast. Let us know, what do you think of Sonic's 2023 in the comments below. Until then, we will see you all next time. Later.
See y'all.
Ciao.